Hey everyone, Eric at Retro Handheld Guides, and today we'll be taking a look at PSP performance on the TrimUI Smart Pro. The TrimUI Smart Pro has been out for a couple of months now and had kind of an underwhelming reception. For the price and performance at launch, there were simply better devices to pick up. However, the TrimUI Smart Pro has dropped in price to as low as $55 US in recent weeks during the AliExpress anniversary sale, and so I decided to pick one up. With a 5-inch 16:9 ratio screen in a form factor that resembles the PS Vita, and at a price point that now rivals the RG35XXH, I was hoping to find a good budget PSP capable device. And after some testing, I have to say that this is absolutely my new favorite budget device to play PSP games on. Now, it definitely cannot play every PSP game. However, with the latest 1.0.4 firmware that was just released, it can play quite a bit. Many of my favorite games can easily be played at 2x or even 3x resolution, and with a 16:9 ratio screen, these games look fantastic. If you're looking for a budget device to play PSP games on, you need to take a look at the TrimUI Smart Pro. So with that, let's dive into some PSP gameplay on the TrimUI Smart Pro. Alright, so before we get started, I'm just going to show you my setup for my PPSSPP emulator. So first of all, I am on the TrimUI Smart Pro firmware version 1.0.4. So that definitely improves a lot of the performance for PSP. One of the things that you can do now with the new firmware is if you actually press the X button, it gives you the option to add or to use different versions of PPSSPP, including the performance mode, which increases the CPU speed, as well as set some performance hacks. Generally, you can use that to get a little bit more performance, but I did find it a bit unstable, so I just use the regular PSP emulator. There are also older versions of the emulator as well. Sometimes there are games that run better there. For every game that I'm running in this showcase, I'm just using the standard emulator, so you can easily launch a game using the standard emulator, just using your A button. Now, for the setup, I did change some of the settings for the general setup. When we go into the setup, you can press the menu button and then go into your settings. From here, my standard settings are OpenGL. With 1.04, they do they do change the backend to Vulkan as well. I found it to still be pretty unstable and actually didn't find any performance increase specifically for PSP, so I just kept it on OpenGL. We do have a standard resolution of 2x PSP for these games, and full screen and VSync are on. I left frame skipping off by default, and a couple of the hacks that I did enable here were the GPU readbacks. I set that to skip from the default of no. We do also have lazy textures on, low quality Bezier curves. Down here at the bottom, I did also specifically disable anisotropic filtering. It's defaulted to 16x. For some performance increase, I just set it to off. You can increase this for some games if you want to improve it so that it doesn't look so pixelated, but for the most part I just left it off. It's not per game basis, you can change that. I did set the low resolution effects to aggressive as well, and then at the bottom I just have my show FPS and show speed counter so that you can see what speed these things are going to be running at. So those are my basic settings. If you do need to change settings from there, just create a game config and then modify your settings at that point. So let's take a look at some of the games.
Three players in the game. Almost a great play. He's on first with a base hit. Walker did a great job of reaching out and hammered a tough splitter. Up next, Albert Pujols. Runner on first with one out. Swing and a miss. It was late. No balls and one strike. On the ground. And he's safe. Going to try for two. Safe at second base. Polanco is aboard with a one-out double. Sheffield is due up. Runner on second. It's called assault and battery, but in here it's called melee combat, and it's just good, clean fun. So go ahead and beat up those bad guys. Drop them like a bad habit. Soft look at tax.
So with Craig Simpson, we've got a heck of a battle for you tonight between the Carolina Hurricanes. Quick shot. That's blocked that didn't get through. Over to Horkoff. One-time shot. Ward denies him. Caberlet takes over. He passes the puck to Cole. He turned the puck over to Smith. Now a pass up to Horkoff.
Alright, so for this next set of games, I've implemented a couple of additional performance hacks and tweaks. So to use these performance hacks and tweaks, you again have to go into the PPSSPP menu, and one of the kinds of hacks that I've implemented here are called cheats. Now, cheats are a file called Cheats.db, which needs to be placed into your PPSSPP emulator folder. If you have any questions on how to do that, feel free to check out the link to one of my guides in the description below. Once you have your Cheats.db file implemented, you can import to the emulator, and from there you'll find a number of different cheats. So they'll do all kinds of different things, but one of the main features that I'm using here are the performance cheats. Now, these are going to be different for every different game. Some of them are going to have performance cheats and some of them aren't. For this game in particular, Driver 76, there are a couple of performance cheats that we can implement. As an example, down here there is an FPS cheat that allows us to perform the game at 30 FPS. So to use that, you simply make sure that there's a checkbox beside it. This one also has a couple of optimization cheats, including multi-threaded, reduced renderer. This one also has a 60 FPS cheat. So these are different kinds of cheats that you can implement to improve the performance. So where I have used a cheat, you'll see that in the top left-hand corner, which cheats that I've enabled in order to help improve the performance of that particular game. Now, the second kind of performance hack that I've implemented for some of these games are to change the emulated clock speed. So for those, I implement a game settings. So on a per game basis, I would recommend doing this for those where I've changed the emulated clock speed, and you can go into the settings and go to the systems menu. And then under the systems menu, if we scroll down, there is an option for change emulated CPU clock speed. Now, for those games where I've changed the emulated clock speed, I do show you what the clock speed is that I've set it to, but you can play around with this. 0 is default, but for some games, I found that if you change the emulated clock speed to different multiples of 111, then you can get some performance changes out of it. Now, it does run it at a lower FPS, which is similar to the FPS cheats that can be implemented. It will be a compromised experience, so just keep that in mind when you're looking at my playability for some of these games. It may say playable or mostly playable, but just keep in mind that we are going to be implementing cheats and other hacks to these games to get them to run. So it won't be a perfect experience. It will simply be an optimized experience. So let's take a look at some of those as well.
You don't look Cuban. Where you from, man? Here and there. Suit yourself, amigo.
Get down, baby, across the track. Get down, baby, get down.
There must be a way to break that lock. Try using your EDSU goggles.
He's out there! Go! Back up! Moving out! We get a move on, please?